Let's talk about compensation. It used to be, more often than not, that the compensation for a buyer's agent was paid by the seller. Now, the proposed regulations that could take place in July have changed, and the responsibility to pay for compensation for buyer representation, the agent who represents you and protects you, could fall on you, the buyer. The buyer's agent can still negotiate with the seller's agent to get them to contribute to that compensation, whether it be the entire amount or a portion of a portion. Legally, you'll have to sign an agreement before any buyer's agent in the United States can work with you. That agreement will always say that the buyer is ultimately responsible to pay the buyer's agent's commission, not the seller. That said, the seller can still pay the commission. It just has to be negotiated off the MLS. The new proposed regulation does not say that a seller can't pay the representation fee. This is something that can be negotiated on your behalf. Some sellers will choose to pay the buyer's agent's compensation, and some won't. You can choose to write an offer on a home where the seller pays the fee for your buyer's agent, or you can choose not to write an offer on a home if the seller is not willing to pay it. And again, all commissions for compensation is always negotiable between all parties, and it always has been. There's no traditional, customary, or standard commission amount. Commissions are negotiable, just as who will be paying for them is negotiable. That compensation can seem like a big chunk. So, is it really worth it? If you choose the right broker to represent you, it definitely is. Seller's agents are just that. They are there to represent the seller. Do you want someone who's working on your behalf? Most experts agree that buyers who try to represent themselves on their own often end up paying more for a home because they don't have the negotiation skills or market knowledge that an agent does. They might also miss out on finding the best home for themselves because they don't have access to all the listings and information that an agent has. Not only that, but buyers who don't have a real estate expert in their corner can end up with dozens of legal headaches and unexpected costs and end up in litigation. It's a very complex process. When buyers decide to represent themselves in a real estate transaction without the expertise of a buyer's agent, they might think they're saving money. But when you consider the overall financial investments and potential liability involved, it's really a false savings. Having representation makes a huge difference. For example, according to the National Association of Realtors, homes sold directly by owners, known as for sale by owners, tend to sell for an average of $95,000 less than sellers who use an agent. So if having professional representation can make that much difference to a seller, think about how much it could benefit you, the buyer, even if you were the one paying your agent's commission. And you know what? Your agent doesn't get paid at all until they have succeeded in getting you into the home you want. Here's what a great broker does for you. First, they don't go ahead and, send you off looking at homes without first starting to connect you with a reputable mortgage loan officer so you really understand what you can afford. You don't want to waste your time looking at something that's not in your budget. A great broker will also help you get a clear understanding of what you need, your priorities are, and what you love to have in a home. The must-haves, so to speak, and the nice-to-haves are next. Before dragging you around on home tours, they'll search different neighborhoods and homes to find you great matches. They are very detailed, and they will give you the information on things like schools, scores, crime rates, traffic patterns, local amenities before you ever step into the car. You'll know exactly what you're looking at and that it fits what you're looking for. Then once you find a home you like, they research the current market and market trends even further, and they'll talk to the seller's agents about what the seller's priorities are and what their hot buttons are. At this point, they also ask the seller's agent and the seller if the seller's willing to pay the fee for the buyer's agent. All of this is to help you write an offer that will be attractive to the seller at a price you can afford with the terms you want, and to help you decide whether to make an offer at all. Your agent will present your offer and begin the negotiation process. A great agent will be a terrific collaborative negotiator with the experience and expertise to know how to compromise and create a deal that both you and the seller are happy with. Your buyer's agent will be able to negotiate things like rent backs, potential maintenance issues, repair requests, and closing costs, including the buyer's agent's compensation. Your agent will negotiate the right price and terms and make sure you're not paying more for that home than you should. They will negotiate credits and additional terms on your behalf that the seller will pay for instead of you. The seller's agent wants to protect the seller and get them the most money and best terms. As a buyer's agent, their job is to do the same for you. The goal is to negotiate all of this and make sure you get the best possible price and terms. It's like a loving boxing match between the listing agent and your agent. Once your offer is accepted, your agent then manages all the people and the processes to unearth any issues and finalize the deal. They order inspections like roof and pest inspections, plus any inspections if there's a pool, well, or septic, and point out any issues that arise from them. They also coordinate appraisals and discuss the results with you. They order and review the title report and point out any red flags. They'll keep you on top of, the lenders and help you provide with whatever documentation is necessary. They review the seller's disclosures and point out potential problems, then negotiate a resolution to those issues. They'll deal with the title and escrow companies, and they'll connect you with homeowner insurance companies and home warranty providers. They'll help you choose the best options for your situation. So if you're looking for a good buyer's agent, we would love to help you. I'm Michelle with the Michelle Lewis team at Coldwell Banker, and we want to move you in the right direction.